Alright, we should be live. Assuming it all worked out like it should. It better have. Think it's all good. Hey, kitty. At least he decided to cough up a hairball before I started streaming. That was awesome. Holy crap, what up, Donna, Pika What, Alexis, Aster, Gaming, Beast, Uze. What's up, some fine gent? Hello. Infinite Death, Shannon B, Richard, Tessa, Kyle, Evil Chemical. What is it, Umbrelletto or something? Sorry, I went by quick. Holy crap, what up, everybody? Hope everyone's having a great weekend. I think it's, for the most part, a weekend where everyone's at. I think if you started getting over to maybe Australia, you guys might be a day ahead. Or are you behind? I'm so bad with the time zones. I need to figure out exactly where it switches to the next day. Appreciate everyone dropping in. What up, Dawn? Dawn Roosh? Roosh? Someone said they're so sad. Why are you sad? Don't be sad. Someone said it's Monday where they're at. Rest in peace, weekend. Rest in peace. What up, Canada? I see you. What up? Start the stories? I will start the stories in just a moment. I want to make sure that some people have a chance to get in. Like, I started the stream literally a minute and a half ago. So, I'm definitely going to open up with a story within the next couple minutes. So, don't get too impatient. Thank you, DJ. You love my content. I really appreciate that. Thank you. What up, Lizzie? I saw you flash by. Safer. What up, Alaska? Cheshire Cat, what's up? A lot of Canadians in here. Nice. See, a lot of UK. Yeah, it's actually really cold today here in Arizona. It was over 100 degrees day before yesterday, and now it's like 70. It's supposed to be like one of the biggest temperature drops they've ever had that fast. Pretty crazy. What up, New York? Mongolia, what up? Sup, dog? What up, Steven? Manchester, what up? Someone's all, can I chill here? You most certainly can. And we're about to start some stories. At least one here in a minute. What up, Denmark? Germany? Someone's all, I live in Arizona. I'm going to find you. It wouldn't be that hard. I tell everyone I live in Lake Havasu. Who was that? What up, duh? It's Trentaco? I don't know, I probably butchered that so bad, but what up? Sweden and New Zealand. Nice, we got Texas, Middlesbrough. I think that's what it was. It flashed by really quick. Texas, Colorado, New Zealand, Tennessee, Missouri, Hawaii. Damn, everyone's from everywhere. I'm glad you all decided to come in and spend a little bit of your weekend with me. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll start a story. Kansas, what up? Yeah, I don't miss Kansas too much. Not the humidity, I should say. Alright, well, let's go ahead and we'll get a story going. And I know people are looking forward to a story, so here's a story. Hopefully the audio's good. I'm 18, and I live in a lower middle class townhome complex with my divorced mom and my little brother. My mom was out of state for a week at the time, and my little brother was staying at our dad's house for the week. I don't drive, so there were no cars outside my house. 18 years old with the house to myself for a week, with a mom who was perfectly fine with me smoking weed in the house, and gave me permission to have friends over while she was gone. Every teen's dream growing up, right? Yeah, except it ended a little different than that. The first day, I came home after a 10-hour shift at the gas station I work at half a mile down the road from my house. I walk home, head into my basement, smoke a bowl, and fall asleep with my cat. A few hours later, I wake up with an uneasy feeling. It's 1 a.m. and I hear footsteps upstairs. My cat is on my bed, and my dog is at doggy daycare for a week, I hear drawers upstairs being opened and immediately grab my switchblade and dial 911. They send a squad car out, and I stay on the phone. Then I hear someone coming downstairs. With my bed just being in the basement due to the bedroom essentially being the size of a closet, I'm the first thing they'll see when they come downstairs. I jumped to my feet, dropped my phone, and drew my switchblade. The door opens, the light turns on, and a man walks in, around my age, wearing a backpack and holding a crowbar. 5'10", 140-pound scrawny and shirtless me is standing there with a mere 4-inch knife, locking my eyes with this man I've never seen before, inside my house, holding a crowbar. He jumped as high as I did when he saw me. With a surge of foolish confidence, I pointed the knife towards him and told him not to step towards me. Funny considering his crowbar had a solid foot of reach over my knife. He shouted, "What the fuck? Bro, we didn't think anyone was here. I'm not looking for a fight." I hear quick and heavy footsteps coming down and a voice saying, "Yo, what the hell are you doing here?" A second man emerges from the doorway, this one holding a pistol, and it's pointed at me once he notices me. His eyes light up, as do mine as I realize who I'm looking at. An old elementary friend that I had drifted out of contact with. I had some friends who started talking to him recently, but I heard that he turned into a recreational Xanax addict, and I didn't want to mess with that, so I never bothered getting back in contact. Turns out that's exactly why they were robbing my seemingly empty house. For Xanax money. "Josh?" he said, in a questioning voice as he lowered the gun. "Fuck, dude. I don't know what to say." At this point, the door slammed open and the police rushed in the house, eventually coming downstairs and arresting the two. It didn't even dawn on me until the cop that stayed downstairs to talk to me jokingly mentioned it, that I had a bong on my desk next to my bed, roughly an ounce of weed in the desk, and the basement had to have smelled pretty strongly. Luckily, the cop ended up being cool, and just said, "I honestly don't care. They just need to legalize it anyways. After what you've been through, you need a joint." And then with a laugh, "But I never said that to you." So yeah, I'm not a storyteller by any means, but I thought you guys would enjoy. Ariel, or Ariel, I hope I'm not butchering it. Ariel, I'm just going to say it like the princess. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. You're super awesome. I did see that. I didn't want to stop the story and ruin the vibe. Much appreciated. That's crazy. Yeah, like if you guys watch the end of my videos, you'll actually see Ariel V gets in the special thank you. She's a big supporter of the channel. Yeah, that was a really good story. You know, it was a nice twist. It would suck really bad to actually, have your friend be, a previous friend be the one doing it. But in the same sense, at least they weren't looking for trouble, but they got lucky that the person wasn't there with a firearm. I don't know if it was in the US though or not. But yeah, I definitely toned down the screaming war for sure. Like that last one was a little crazy on the last stream, so I toned it down a little bit and actually got a different scream too. Thank you, David. I really appreciate that. Harry, how do I send money? You can do Patreon, be a Patreon supporter, or if you're wanting the super chat, it's that little money symbol under the chat. I don't know if they have it for iPhone or anything. Thank you, Becky. She loves the music. What up, Mr. Trivium? Noticed the difference. Yeah, definitely. The sound makes a big difference. Pico, what? Thank you so much. $2 super chat. I love your stories.
I love your stories.
Oh yeah, I forgot I have it, so it's gonna read it in a creepy robot voice. Thank you so much. That's really awesome. I'm glad you made it to the stream, and I hope you're enjoying it, and I hope you're having a wonderful weekend or a Monday, depending on where you are. Thank you, Ryan. You're the best YouTuber for stories. Thanks for passing so much time on me lonely days. I appreciate that. I'm glad I can help you out. I used to listen to a lot of stories to pass my times too, and then I ran out. That's kind of why I started doing them. So Olivia. I didn't feel so good, so I'm laying in bed listening to you. I hope you feel better, and I hope this will get you a little more rejuvenated. Get to chill, just get some good vibes, hear some scary stories. What up, brah gaming? Brah? Yeah, the phone didn't have an option to send money. No big deal, Frank. You being here is enough for me. I just like to come out, have some time with the community, listen to some stories, get to chat about them. Shlivia says, shall I donate $100? That is all on you. I'm just happy everyone's here. 273 people here right now spending their day and time. What up, Padlock Beats? Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Jeffrey, my cat just swallowed a Lego. Be right back. Damn. My cat, Tigger, decided to cough up a hairball like right before I started my stream. And when he does that, he likes to go and puke in a few different places. So, someone said, Big Ross said more gameplay videos. Here this month, Friday the 13th. I'm gonna take my headphones off. I can't hear myself talk. Here in like a couple weeks or so, Friday the 13th comes out. So I will be live streaming that. But I do a couple live stream video games on my Inferior Maker. I haven't done that in a little over a week, but Cornflakes says, your maker, do you like my dank name? Yeah. Cornflakes are good, but I like Frosted Flakes. What up, beast? Happy birthday, Skronic. I probably said that wrong. Skyronic? I'll say Skyronic. Happy birthday. Kane Smith, do you like Mr. Nightmare? What kind of question is that? Of course I do. Spider-Man Kills. Unmaker, how are you doing? I am doing great. I really am. I woke up not too long ago. Last night sucked. Just coughing wise, that was brutal. But woke up great today. I mean, it sucks that it's a little cooler, so I didn't get to go on a skateboard ride or anything. But all in all, days turned out well. My wife went to sleep not too long ago, so I'm just kind of chilling in the living room, looking at Fat Cat as he chills next to me, and having an energy drink and chilling, enjoying the Sunday. Hi from Montreal, Quebec. What up, Quebec? Someone just says Lazy Masquerade. If you're asking if I like Lazy, yes, most definitely. If you're saying Lazy's in here, what up, Lazy? Yeah, we haven't been talking as much as we used to, the whole group of us. Everyone's been really busy getting everything taken care of, and then especially with what's going on. Someone asked, where can I find your Patreon? That's a good question. I should actually have like a link for that, because I've been trying to promote it a little bit more, but I usually don't. I always felt really bad. That's why I actually closed my Patreon before this whole ad crap went on, and then it went on, and then I got us really panicking, and it's like, now. I'll get a link for it. Alright, this is a link for the Patreon page, and I got some cool perks in there. You can get like my old library of like old videos and all that good stuff. Let me add it to the description too. Okay, that should save it. Alright, I think it's about time for another story, yeah? I think people want a story. Someone asked, collaborations coming? I do have one in the works, yes. We're trying to nail down a topic and find some stories, but I got in contact with someone I haven't talked to in a few months now. But that'll be fun. And then I think also, pretty much for the most part, once everyone starts clearing up their schedule, like I've been talking to Lazy B, Corpse, and we're all set to do collabs with each other, you know, once everything works out. So the one I will be collabing with coming up is going to be Let's Read. Do you listen to Corpse Husband? I do, yeah. Corpsey is my little buddy. Not really. He's a good friend of mine. We haven't met in person. I hope to maybe drive down there this summer and go see him. That would be pretty cool. I've lived in Vegas for my life. I'm honestly kind of bored here. I've been to Vegas a few times. I went to Kingman few years ago, just for Popeye's Chicken. Kingman's like a little more than an hour away. And once I got there, I realized that I was pretty close to Vegas, so I just went to Vegas for a couple hours. And then the last time I was in Vegas was for a wedding. So, yeah. Have I seen corpse husband's face? I don't know, I've never really asked. I've seen like most of his body, but like I'll mess with him and be like, "Oh, you don't trust me," but I honestly don't care what he looks like. I don't see it as much of a big deal what someone looks like. So, nope, never even bugged him for his face. What up, Cleveland Brown? My name is Cleveland Brown. Thank you, Zana. Just subscribed. Welcome to the community. That did sound wrong. I just thought about that. I assume you're talking about the corpse thing. I've seen most of his body. Not in that way, you pervs. Damn. Or is it? I don't know. Let's go ahead and do a story. I think you guys would enjoy that. Let's start up another story. Most definitely. Alright. Okay. Someone asked, what board do I have? I don't want to promote the board I have because it's a really cheap board and I don't want people to get it and then die. Because occasionally because it's an electric board and the brakes will go out. Only when a car's by, it seems like. Fortunately, I know how to foot brake, but the last thing I need is someone to go buy a board because I'm using it and then they die and then I feel like a dick. Okay, here's a story, guys and gals. It was the middle of summer and my parents had left for the weekend to go to our house in Cape Cod. It's about a 2-hour drive away, so it's no big deal for them to just leave me alone for a few days. My mom had made some pulled pork and pasta for me to heat up whenever, and I had some money if I wanted to order a pizza. I see you. Thank you so much. Things were all good. The first night I was alone, I stayed up till 3 in the morning playing Xbox, so I woke up really late the next day. I checked my phone when I woke, and saw that it was a little past 1. I had made plans to play some street hockey with my friends at 3, so I threw myself out of bed and stumbled into the shower. I take really long showers, so when my parents are gone, I go mental. I was in there for about 45 minutes on my phone scrolling through Reddit and Twitter and whatnot, when I heard my front door open. The bathroom is directly upstairs from the front door, and the thing is pretty loud when it opens and closes. I immediately froze, since obviously I was supposed to be alone. I waited for about 2 minutes, ears trained to hear anything else. Nothing. I figured it was just the wind, or maybe my parents were home early. So I turned off the shower, wrapped my towel around myself, and slowly walked down the stairs to check it out. So the stairs to the kitchen, where the back door is, are pretty tight and walled in. So it's essentially like walking down a tighter version of this, but replace the railing with a wall. So I can't see into the kitchen when I walk down. Even though my house is old as shit, and each step of the stairs makes a super loud creak, I still took my time and tried to be as quiet as possible. I probably took 45 seconds walking down all 12 of the stairs. When I get to the second to last stair, right before I could see around the corner into the kitchen, I take a little break to compose myself. In my mind, I knew I was being stupid. There obviously wasn't anything in the kitchen. There's no way I wouldn't have heard any other noise, and there's no reason for them to be in the kitchen if they're burglars or something. After sort of mentally chastising myself for being such a wuss, I chuckled to myself for being so stupid, and just normally walked the last 2 stairs and turned the corner into the kitchen. Standing about 2 feet away from me in the middle of the kitchen is a man staring straight at me, perfectly still, with a massive smile across his face, just staring at me. The thing I remember most vividly wasn't his face or his smile, but his arms. They weren't just at his side. He held them in the strangest, most abnormal position I've ever seen. They were where one would normally hold their arms, but he had rotated them to the point that they were almost completely reversed, as well as lifted them up and a little behind himself. I don't know why I remember this so much, but it's just the most demonic, abnormal position I've ever seen. Honest to God, I think I almost had a heart attack right there. Looking back, I can realize how creepy this situation was. But in the moment, I just took a step towards him and punched him as hard as I could in the jaw, sort of half slapping / pushing him towards the ground. The second I connected, I beelined up the stairs, dropping my towel in the kitchen with my heart beating out of control. I sprinted into my room and locked the door behind me. I quickly put a chair up against the doorknob like you see on TV, and almost without thinking, I immediately called 911, nearly in tears, and told the operator what happened. As I sat on the floor of my room, in practically the fetal position, staring at the door, praying that a cop would be there soon, I noticed the light coming from the gap between my door had stopped. This guy was standing outside my door. There's no words to describe the feeling I had. I was paralyzed with fear, watching the shadows across the bottom of the door shift in tiny ways. I stayed balled up, staring at the gap, praying the man would just go away for what seemed like an hour. All the while, the 911 operator was asking, "Hello? Sir? Sir, are you there? Hello?" I didn't want to make a noise, and even if I wanted to move my arms to bring the phone to my mouth, I don't think I could have. Eventually, the light returned to the gap, and I heard the faintest of footsteps, slowly creaking the wooden floorboards as he walked down the hall. It was silent for a minute, as I just sat there curled up, unable to even speak. I heard banging on the front door, and the sound of 2 officers entering my house. I finally felt safe, and when I opened the door to the 2 of them standing there, I almost cried. Nowadays, I check every lock on the house before going to bed. I still get nightmares occasionally, and my heart races whenever I see someone standing still. But I'm doing alright. Even working with sketch artists in a few lineups, the police never found whoever the hell was in my house. That sends shivers down my spine every time I look outside, half expecting to see him standing across the street smiling under a lamppost. I have no idea what he wanted or who he was. Yes, those stories are pre-recorded. I saw someone mention that. That story is actually one I think I did like a year ago, a little over, but back then my narration was really bad, so I wanted to redo it. Real quick, Mika, thank you so much for that $2 super chat at the start of the story. I did see that, but I didn't want to pause the story right in the beginning. Thank you so much. Yeah, I wonder if they actually, like, if they mean they actually get creeped out when they see people standing still, because I think you'd see a lot of people standing still and you'd be like freaked out all the time. Brock Gaming says you need a Ouija board. I have a spirit board. What is it? It's like, I'm not really sure. My sister practiced Wiccan, and I think I got it from her. Like, it's more in depth than a Ouija board, I think. I've never used it, but I definitely do need a Ouija board. DJ Peck, what up? I see you. Someone's like, please read. I can't even talk. I can't even read a comment, and you want me to read live? No, yesterday was so bad getting that recording done. It took a long time. My mouth just doesn't want to work. Sometimes, like, I'll know what I'm trying to say, but I just can't say it, even when I'm just normally talking. I don't even have anything I'd read right now live anyways, but I got plenty of recorded stories, so it makes it easy, because that way I can chill and listen to it with you guys too, and I'm not worried about my mess ups and the blunders. But I do some live streams where I'm making a video, and if you catch that, they're usually about an hour or so long. And I'll record live, sometimes even have my face cam on and whatnot, sometimes do a little of the editing on the stream. But make sure you click the bell notification if you want to be updated with all of my live streams, so that way you can catch it, because those ones are short and they usually never go public afterwards. Your maker, fam, I'm hungry. Well, get some food. Let's have lunch, your maker. Dang, everyone's hungry, it sounds like. I didn't even eat today. I had some string cheese. Yeah, string cheese and energy drinks. The breakfast of champions. Will you do Skinwalker stories? I will, most definitely, on my other channel, Fear Your Maker. Most definitely. This channel I don't know, it depends on how the ads go. I might end up merging the channels, but at the time being, I like to have them separated. More of the paranormal and all the other stuff on my Fear Your Maker channel. Someone's like, turn on your face cam. No, not right now. I didn't get a haircut, and yeah, I didn't shave, so I look like a hobo right now. You can just hear my hair. Yep. I need to shave. Mountain Dew breakfast. Ew. I don't drink Mountain Dew. I can't. The only Mountain Dew that I have isn't really Mountain Dew. It's the Mexican imported Dew Shine, and it's clear. I don't know. I'm not gonna drink something that looks like a toxic waste spill. How's your weekend going? Asks Cynthia. My weekend's going very well. Very well. Been pretty relaxing. Well, not really, besides all the work. But I think I spent 6 hours or so yesterday getting all these recorded, edited, all that whatnot. And this, what we're listening to now, is going to be the video that'll be coming up a little bit later today. Probably right after I end the stream at some point, probably shortly after. Someone says, do a gaming channel. I actually have a gaming channel. It's just hidden. Super hidden. And I don't even think I've really talked on that channel. Never to an audience. I just upload my little clips of my Rainbow Six and whatnot on there. And I've never promoted it. And I have like 6 subscribers or something. It's funny. I wonder if they're people from my channel or if they just happen to stumble across it. I'm sad. Can you make me a happy face? I don't know if I can make a happy face. Right now I don't have it as a background. That would be funny. Yeah, I don't have it as a background. My other channel, my Fear Your Maker channel, is just Fear Your Maker. Add the word fear before your maker. And my gaming channel is a secret. A super secret. G Money asks King Spook ? I don't understand that question. Sorry. Your maker. My baby sis is cooking or cooing while she's listening to you. Oh, that's so cute. Hello, little baby. Hello. Get ready for a world of wonder. Do I know Spanish? I can understand it more than I can speak it. I know like a little bit. A little bit. Let's go streaking, says someone. Have I ever been streaking? I don't know. I know when I first moved here, the very first time in Havasu, I was down at the park they have here in town. And it was like 110 degrees or something like that. And I didn't have swim trunks on, so I just took my clothes off and went in my boxers, just turned them sideways so that hole was more on my side, and just dove in the water. That was a little weird. But, yeah. I do have a Snapchat, actually. I do. It's Fear Your Maker. All one word. A lot of bad things have been happening to the YouTubers in the horror community, being robbed, heart attacks. Yeah, there's been a lot of people having their personal issues. I know B-Busta's dad's having some issues, and yeah, it's that on top of everything too, you know. I can't imagine the extra stress. So hopefully everything turns around. Playing Battlefield 1 and chilling with you is the shit. I've actually never played Battlefield 1. I got Hardline when that came out. Pretty much Battlefield 3 was my favorite. Battlefield 4 is what I have. And I never even got Battlefield 1. It just feels like a reskinned game. So, yeah, B-Busta's busy at the moment. No collabs. We have talked, but at the moment, things are really crazy with a lot of us. I know Corpse is having health issues as well. Eden just fractured her arm, I think it was. And B-Busta's got his family issues. Lazy. I haven't heard much from Lazy, so I assume he's pretty busy as well. Pretty crazy. Yeah, everyone's really busy. Someone says, please do a series. You know, I was actually in the works with a writer. I was going to have a writer be writing stories, and we were going to have a lot of regular uploads and actually have series and whatnot inspired by real events. But now with the whole YouTube thing, I can't afford a writer. I would literally be losing money. Like, I didn't even make enough last month to pay my bills. So if I had a writer on top of that, like, I would really be hurting. But hopefully if YouTube works out again, I do plan on getting a writer and then get a series, get some more stories regular, all that good stuff. Duh, it's Trentaco. Just subscribe to Fear Your Maker. Awesome. There's plenty of stories over there for you to listen to as well. I think I've collabed with Your Maker a couple times over there because I like to collab with myself a lot. Not really, I haven't done it in a while. But I always think it's funny to collab with yourself as opposed to just be like, hey, go subscribe to my other channel. Naomi, I'll write for you for free. That's super awesome. I mean, if anyone wants to write stories and they kind of loosely base them off of real articles and whatnot, I'm not against doing that. Just make sure, you label it that it's not your story, that it's more or less just kind of inspired by a real event type of thing. Don't be putting real names or too much things, because then there's legalities in there, but I'm open to that. The community seems to like the scary stories, even if you're just honest about what it is. So, are you going to read stories? I will be having another story. Yeah, I'll play another story here in a minute. I'm probably not going to read live, but I do have, I don't know, like 6 or 7 more stories that we haven't listened to. I think 1 or 2 of them are stories that I narrated like a year or more ago that I re-narrated yesterday to try to make them sound better. Or collab with Dr. Horror. Yeah, we actually collabed a few months ago, Dr. Horror and I. The greatest, what up? Yeah, if any of you have a story, feel free to email it to yourmaker6260@gmail.com. You can find that email address in any description of my videos on my About page, as well as audio at the end of every video. It's right after I say, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. If you would like a chance to have your story featured in an upcoming video, make sure you email it to yourmaker6260@gmail.com. Just woke up and it's 11:30. Well, what up, Proxy? 11:02, according to your name. You're failing. I swear you sound like Kevin Bacon. I can't picture his voice right now. I remember him in Hollow Man and Spider-Man, but yeah. How old am I? I am 30 years old. Damn, I turned 30 a few months ago now. Can you do 31 days of Fear Fest? That would be really cool. If I have the stories, I have no problem. Like, I'd love to get longer videos out and consistently. I mean, that doesn't just benefit you guys, that benefits me as a channel too, but it's a matter of finding decent stories that are worth putting out a whole bunch. That's pretty much what holds us back, is a lot of the stories. Someone's asking something. They keep saying please. Someone says they're 5 years younger than me. You'll be where I'm at very soon. Time flies. Even looking back, like I sit there when I was 18, and I'm like, damn, I'm getting old. And it just seems like yesterday that I was 18. So I guess you really, you hear from a lot of older people, they're like, yeah, in my mind, I feel really young. And that's about how it is. I can see how once you get to that age, you're still going to be like, damn, that was yesterday that I was 18. But I mean, the restrictions of your body when you're getting old is not something I'm looking forward to. Yeah. Someone says we are the goats. Greatest of all times? I'm going to take a guess. Or are we just goats? That'd be mean if you just called us goats. Oh, well, happy early birthday, War Dragon. And I'm 17 years younger. Yeah, I turned 18 today. Happy birthday, Nicholas. That's awesome. Yeah, I remember I was living on my own when I was 17. So when I turned 18, that was when I was in my other house. Like when I was 17, I moved out because, like, okay, I was living with. Well, I guess I'll start the story where it would make sense. I took my GED. I got my GED done, and I was in college when I was 16. And then I ended up running into an old friend in college. He was a few years older than me, but, me going to college right then kind of put us right together. So we actually met. And then on my 17th birthday, he said that he knew a chick, or he was going to a chick's house, and it was a chick that I knew and had a crush on. And then that's when I went over there and then met my ex-wife. And then I pretty much kind of ran away from home because, the way it was, my mom worked all the time and her husband, he was doing his weird thing. And so I'd be up at 6 in the morning, and then I'd walk down the road and catch a ride with another schoolmate up to the college in another city over. And then I would get done there, and then I would go over to a family friend's house and chill over there for a while until my mom's husband got off, I think it was. And then he would pick me up, and I'd go home, and then I'd get picked up, and then I'd go babysit somewhere until 3 in the morning. So I was only sleeping a few hours. I was working full-time doing babysitting and doing the college, even though I wasn't paying attention in college and all that. But then I kind of ran away from home. Instead of going home after the babysitting, I just started going over to the girl's house. And then my mom found out. She came over, and I said, well, she needs to move in then because I really like her. And my mom was just like, okay, whatever, just get home. So I came home not long after she moved in. And then I found out not long after she was pregnant. So then I pretty much got a full-time job, stopped going to the college I was at, and moved out on my own. Within 2 months of finding out, I was already living on my own. Yeah, so by the time I was 18, nothing really changed. I think all that happened when I turned 18 was the first time she cheated on me, and then I decided to join the army. So then I called a recruiter. That was my 18th birthday. Yes! So enjoy it. What up, unknown? Thank you for the sub. Damn, I didn't expect to give an actual story of my life a little bit. Well, let's get into an actual creepy story. It's been a little while since we've done one of those. Here's a creepy story. Enjoy it. One day my older sister and I were home because of the day off school, while our mom had to go into work. This left us home alone, which wasn't really unusual. Here's some context as to the layout of our house at the time. It was positioned on a hill, so one side of our rec room had a sliding glass door to the backyard, while the other side of the room had a high window that was right at ground level. It was also a split level, so our front door was at the landing of the stairs. We were downstairs watching TV when out of the corner of my eye, I saw someone pass the sliding glass doors through the vertical blinds. I told my sister, but in an effort not to panic, she said, "Nope, I didn't see anything." Just then, we saw the door move as if someone was trying to pull it. We both ducked down and crept to the stairs. We were on our hands and knees because our front door had windows. My sister finally bolted up the second half of the stairs and into the kitchen. This left me right under the door as the person tried to open it. My sister peeked around the corner of the kitchen doorway to see if the person was still there. When the coast was clear, I sprinted up the stairs and joined my sister in the kitchen, huddling from the windows. I turned to find my sister with a huge kitchen knife, ready to attack the potential intruder. I stifled my laughter at the hilarious visual, long enough to call my friend's dad who worked from home next door. While we waited, we heard the person trying the doors all around the house. Thank goodness my sister is paranoid and locks every door at all times. Our neighbor showed up, baseball bat in hand, but said he had seen a white van drive away. I called my mom, and she began to contact any company that came to our house, Terminix, gardeners, etc. Turns out it was the guy from Terminix, who was soon fired for this incident. There was no reason for him to try to come into our house, especially without trying to ring the doorbell first. Someone said I read so well, almost like my recordings. That actually was a recording. This is going to be my next video. We're just we're listening to it live together. And I saw someone said they would like me to say hi to their girlfriend because they listen on. Hello, Christina. I see you. Not really. I see my laptop screen, and you see a fire spinning. Someone also said something about collabing with Rob Dyke. I've actually collabed with Rob Dyke, Mr. Nightmare, Mr. Creepypasta, Lazy Masquerade, B-Busta, Corpse Husband, Eden, all in one video, and you can find that on my channel too. Surprisingly, that video didn't do as well as I thought, so I assume I jacked up the title of it. I probably should have chose my title a little better. I don't watch wrestling anymore. I stopped watching it probably like 9 years old or something like that. Back at the time, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was the shit. And that was back when Kane, before he showed his face, I remember that was a whole big deal when, I think it was Undertaker who unmasked Kane. I mean, it was only fitting they were brothers, but I forget if that was actually who did it. That was back when Triple H was with Stephanie McMahon, Rikishi was putting his ass in people's faces, Chyna was still around. She had her own music video too, which was pretty crazy. Yep, don't watch it anymore. Surprisingly, my grandma and her husband do, but I don't. I can't get into it. It's too dramatic now. It's just like, come on, guys. Come on. Has a scary story like that ever happened to you? Not really. I mean, we've been having people knock on our door, which is random. Like my wife, when I woke up the other day, she saw someone was knocking on our door, and I don't know who it was. But at least this person wasn't walking around. Like usually people are knocking and they just start walking around looking in the windows. And it's like, what the fuck are they doing? So, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Daniel, I loved Rikishi. Rikishi was so funny. It's so funny. The Hardy Boys, that was back in their prime. They're doing their flips off the cages because they do those steel cage matches. And who was it? Brett Owens, who died doing a stunt? I remember that was on live pay-per-view. Your maker is the best, and that is the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. Now toss me my beers. Do I fear clowns? No, not at all. My wife does. She hates clowns, but I don't. Holy crap, Regina McDonald. Holy crap, and you didn't even comment. Thank you so much. $50 super chat. Holy crap. True MVP. That is amazing. You didn't even comment anything. That's crazy. Thank you so much. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend, and I really appreciate you dropping in the stream and showing some love. That's really awesome. Wow. Not even a comment. That's crazy. Pants down underwear. What are you talking? Pants down underwear was still up, and he was facing a Catholic primary school. Stood up the road. Who? Someone keeps asking PC or console. I think everyone can agree that PC's got the better specs if you got the money for it. But if you're looking for probably a more, and the first person shooters and all that are easier because of the aim. But if you're looking for more of an even cheaper than console, everyone's on an even playing field. No one's got some $6,000 PlayStation 4. So, someone's like, oh my god, there's no duck emoji. What kind of emojis are there? I don't even look in the emojis. They got little sleeping emojis. What? That's crazy. Someone said Android or iPhone. Android, for sure. I don't go iPhone. It seems like everything I get on iPhone, I can get on Android and not have to pay and deal with their bullcrap, like getting rid of the 3.5mm jack. Yeah. Money hungry. No, it's not $6,000 for a PS4. What I'm saying, that was my point. Some people have like $6,000 computers, or $6,000 computers, because they get crazy with it. But you're never gonna find anyone with a more beefed up PlayStation. I mean, they might have a bigger hard drive, but that's not going to affect their game. It might be a solid state drive, so that way, maybe like a Battlefield or something like that, it would load you into the game faster. So you might have a tiny little advantage in that aspect, but as opposed to actually being in game, you wouldn't be at a disadvantage as opposed to someone on PC playing minimum specs, maybe 60 frames per second against someone who's running ultra and they can have it 200 frames per second. Which there actually is a little bit of a difference. You'll have a little bit more reaction time because you'll have that many more frames to see what's going on. So yeah. Dakota, I turn off ad block for you. That is super awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's what I stopped. I whitelisted YouTube completely for the most part. Except for the guilty pleasure channels where you're like, oh, I just come here to hate on you because I hate you. But then you don't say anything. You're just like, I hate you. You just sit there and watch them and I hate you. I don't think I have any channels that do that, but I should. Luca asks if he could be a mod. I would, but my mods right now are people that have been subscribed to the channel for a long time, and I chat with them on pretty much all of my social media, and I see them everywhere. And that's kind of how I chose it. Someone asks how excuse me. Someone asks how the cats are. Fat Cat is literally twitching right now. I'm looking at him. He's right next to me. He's sleeping and he's in dreamland and he's twitching. I could wake him up and scare him and it'd be funny. Like, all his paws are twitching. Oh my goodness, this looks so funny. What is he doing? I think he's possessed. His like toes, all the toes on every single one of his paws are like curling and coming out, and his stomach's jumping. He stopped. He must have died in his dream. Poor guy. He's dead. The next video is the video that we're listening to bits and pieces, and it's going to be uploaded shortly after the stream. I just figured I'd listen to it with you guys, or at least some of it. It's already been 46 minutes on the stream, so we're probably not going to listen to the full thing, which is fine. It's a 40-minute video, so once it's done, you guys can go check out the rest of it. Well, cats are Satan's pets. It jumped the comments and made it sound all different. Okay, whoops. The cucumber trick does not work with our cats. We tried that. We always have cucumbers for our guinea pigs. They get fresh salads every day. But yeah, the cats, they don't care. They don't care. In fact, we had to start feeding one of our cats fiber. That's crazy. We actually had to go buy fiber and start mixing it in wet food for him. Yeah, amazing. The Greatest says, the personal story you posted broke my heart. Yeah, it's not an easy story to listen to, but, you know, it holds a powerful message. I'll probably end up redoing that probably sometime soon. I don't like the way I sound. I don't sound like me. So I'm probably just going to end up redoing it at another point. Probably when I'm just alone, whenever like my wife's out of the house, just turn a camera on and give it more of a, I don't know, rather than written out, just more of a natural story of what all happened, you know. Two cats and a hedgehog with 3 dogs and 6 chickens. Holy crap, Proxy. I hope the chickens and stuff are outside. Put another story, says Desi L. I think we can do another story. I think people would enjoy that. Someone asked, how was I able to get through it? That's a good question. I mean, it's easier as it goes. Like, you learn to cope with it. Like, at the time, like, I was really suicidal. Like, not gonna lie. Like, well, I didn't try to kill myself, but like, it went through my mind a lot. Just like that happened, and then I really started thinking about what happens after death. And like, it was more or less like I was afraid that she was alone, type of thing, you know, whatever happens after. Like, I don't want her to be alone. It was more or less that. But then at the time, I also had my ex-wife who was going through the same thing, so I had to try to be strong for her. So it kind of forced. I mean, I cried a lot, all the time. It was ridiculous. I never cried that much in my life, and it was like every day, nonstop too, for like 2 weeks straight. But one day at a time. One day at a time for sure. Just like any other big thing. Brian, thank you so much.
Thanks for the content. It helps me get through 10-hour workdays.
Oh, I'm glad I can help you. 10-hour workdays. Damn, that's rough. Well, we're going to end up, after this stream, I'll have the rest of this video up. This is like a 40-minute video in total, and we haven't even listened to half of it. And we're probably not going to listen to half of it, so you'll have even more to listen to. So hopefully it'll keep you even more entertained. Nomi, did I quit smoking? Nope. Nope. I should say smoking what? I see you, Butterfly Killer 69. I see you. Okay. You guys want to hear another story? Yeah. I guess by the time you guys hear this. Holy shit, Regina. What the crap? Wow, at least you left a comment, but holy shit. Damn, you are far too kind. Holy crap.
Keep up the good work, who?
Did they really just pronounce that who? Hooah back at you. Or like I used to do it. You know, you have your first sergeant talking to you and everything or whatever, and they're, do you understand that, Private? Hooah. I used to do that shit all the time, just hooah. They hated it. Hooah back at you. Thank you so much. That is really amazing. At least you left a comment this time too. That is amazing. Thank you so much. Regina, true MVP. Okay, so a story in respect to Regina. This one's for you, Regina. Enjoy this story. Thank you so much. Years ago when I was in 2nd grade, I'm 22 now, my parents one morning finally felt confident in allowing me to stay home from school by myself and stay home without a babysitter until they came home. That morning my father gave me a house key, showed me the emergency numbers in the yellow book, and gave me instructions on what to do if stupid things happen like the house catching on fire. After school that day I came home, put the key in the door and walked into my house. I felt free, and I felt privileged that I was finally a big boy, and that I could now be on my own at home. Needless to say, I kinda got caught up in the moment, and ate tons of ice cream while watching Terminator on VHS, since my parents would never let us watch anything other than PG-13. Around 5 that day, I heard the doorbell ring. My dad told me to never answer the door by myself, even if they were home. I walked to our family room where I could get a good view of who was out there. Maybe my dad was just getting a package or something. He did always enjoy ordering things online. I saw a middle-aged man standing in a dark blue jacket that I've never seen before. He rang the doorbell again, and I expected him to leave after no one answered. After a third ring, I saw him walk down the steps and I assumed he was leaving. I went back to watching Terminator when I noticed something outside my kitchen window. The man was in our backyard for some odd reason. I felt scared for my life since some stranger was on my property. I ran under the kitchen table and grabbed the cordless phone from the counter and proceeded to call my dad's work number. My dad answered, and I exclaimed how a strange man was in the backyard and was now proceeding to try and open the sliding door. My dad told me to stay where I was and to call the neighbors. He would call 911. I told my dad I loved him, and he said he would call me immediately after he called 911. Before I could call my neighbor, the man was able to somehow open our family room window. I feared for my life and ran to the bathroom and locked the door and called our neighbors. After 30 seconds, I hear my neighbor running through our house, shouting my name to see if I was okay. She said that she saw no one in the house, and we stayed in the bathroom until the police arrived. The police conducted their investigation and told us that they found some fingerprints that matched a recently released convict who was previously in jail for breaking into homes. After that day, my parents did not leave me alone without a babysitter until I went to high school. Every week I wonder what happened. Did he run when he saw that someone was in my house? Or did my neighbor scare him away when he heard her yelling? it almost didn't want to pause. I almost had to go 2 stories deep in that one. Holy moly. So one thing I've noticed is a lot of these people are actually pretty quick to get on their phones, which is a good thing. Unfortunately, and you'll see it when I actually post the video, but a lot of the stories, they're having to wait a long time for the police. So, yeah. Sarah asks, you smoke cigarettes? Yes, I do, unfortunately. I stopped when I was in the military. Well, like when I was in basic training. And then as soon as I got out, I started again. And then I stopped. I think it was right around the time my daughter passed away. And then I started again. And then I don't think I've stopped again since. No, I did stop for like a few days, or maybe even a week, like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Right when I first started my channel, I tried to quit, and I went to vaping. And then after a while, like it seemed like that vape fluid would like build up in my sinuses and everything, and like everything I tasted and smelt was whatever flavor vape fluid I was doing. Sarah's like, "You want cancer?" You know, people say that a lot. And I mean, granted, yeah, you're probably not helping yourself, but I actually have a couple friends. One of them is 18 and she's going through extreme cancer, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better. And she's never smoked a cigarette. And then I have another lady who used to be my babysitter, and she's a few years older than me. Well, probably like 10, 15, I don't know. But she also has never smoked a day in her life, and she has cancer. So the way I see it is, if you're going to get it, you're going to get it. Especially with what everyone's eating nowadays and breathing in, like, it's pretty hard not to get it, you know? I think the reason, I'm not worried of cancer and all that. That wouldn't be the reason I want to quit. Mine would just be like, more or less to feel cleaner, you know? If I die prematurely, I die prematurely. When it's your time, it's your time. So, I don't use death to fear me out of doing things. Your maker, do you smoke that sticky green? I get that question every single live stream. I am a medical marijuana patient. Yes, I am. I wouldn't say I smoke the sticky green. I do, but I've been trying to get away from smoking in that aspect too, and been trying to do more edibles. I have an inhaler too. I guess they have inhalers now. So that way you're not having to actually get crap in your lungs. So, yeah. Do I like dogs? I do like dogs. I'm just probably not going to have another one as a pet. I was raised with 2 dogs. One was a blue heeler, and that dog was amazing. And she actually got shot with a shotgun by our neighbor. We went school clothes shopping. We were living in Cali at the time. And we went school clothes shopping. Came home that night. It was really late. And I heard my mom's ex-husband just run in saying that she needed to go outside. And then she started screaming. And they came in covered in blood. And then they brought the dog to the vet, the emergency vet. And she lived, like, that dog was a beast. She got ran over. She had part of her ear ripped off. She got shot with a BB gun, had a BB stuck in her leg. Then she got shot with a shotgun. And she lived through it all. She actually died of old age. That dog was amazing. But yeah, when she got shot, he shot her with buckshot. And it went through her, you know how the dogs have the elongated nose? It actually went through the top of her mouth and all the way through. It went through her tongue, everything. Oh, there was a giant hole from top to bottom. It went through her insides, legs. Like, I don't know how she lived, but I do like dogs. We'll just say that. What was that dog made of? Pure beastliness. She was amazing. She never let people close either. She hated it. Whenever I had friends over or something, she hated people. If you weren't part of the family, she did not want to be around you. That sounds so fake. Nope, that's actually completely real. And that's why I leave some of my stories up, is things might sound fake, but they're 100% real. And that neighbor actually never got charged. The cops did go around to the other neighbors who said that they heard gunshots, but they couldn't prove anything, so he never got charged. But yes, I can assure you all the stories that I tell are real. I'm not going to exaggerate. That's why when people ask if I have scary stories, I say no, because I really don't. I just have horrible stories. Yeah. And weird stories. Kendall says, your voice is so relaxing. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. Why did he shoot her? Because she was barking. He used to always hate her barking. He would bitch at us about it regularly. That's why when she got shot, we knew it was him. We lived out kind of in the woods, so everything was in trees. It wasn't in a city. We were outside the city limits, and we were probably on like 2 acres, and the whole back part of the yard was woods. And right before the woods was where she would be on her outside chain, and probably 40 feet from that was the fence in the woods that separated our property, and he shot her from there. Yeah. Josie says, unsubbing. Aw, poor Josie. Poor Josie. If you're actually unsubbing, bye. If not, whoa, we need someone getting banned right here. Someone just lost their talking privileges. And block you. Damn, it's like all of a sudden these little kids came in. Hey, go ahead and, no, if they're using that, if they're dropping N-bombs, permaban them. I don't want them on the channel. Don't give them a warning. Any racist shit, get them out. Thank you, mods. I appreciate it, Lizzie. Don't be afraid to permaban any racism. That's not a warrantable offense. In my opinion. I don't handle that shit. What up, Houston? What up? Do I ever talk to Mr. Nightmare? No, not really. I messaged him pretty much the once where I asked him if he'd be willing to help me out with a collab for my channel. I think I had just hit 100,000 subs or something. And he wrote back, alright, there's another guy. Just ban him. Ban all these people. Yeah, it's no big deal. That's the fortunate thing about having some good mods. Thank you, Shells. Thank you, Lizzie. I see you guys doing work. I'm sure DJ's in there doing his thing too. Your maker, ah shit, it's 3 a.m. Damn, it's only 10 a.m. where I am. Take care, inferior pigman. Thank you for dropping in. Yeah, it is just stupid little kids. And no big deal. Your maker, what's your favorite song? My favorite song would be Tech Nine's Crybaby. That was one that I used to sing with my daughter. She always did the choir. So that's always going to be my favorite song, for sure. Big Tech Nine fan. Oh, so you see the time I said that, but not the cactus bin thing. Nope, didn't see. Sorry. Your maker, where are you from? I am from originally from Northern California, in the Fort Bragg area, and now I am living in Arizona, Lake Havasu City. Who's your favorite artist? Probably Tech Nine. If you're talking like musician and whatnot. I don't know. What's her name? Shit, I can't remember that violinist name. She did that really sick dubstep. What the hell is her name? Everyone knows this one. I can't even think of it. Just smack myself. No, I can't think of it. Doesn't help. But yeah, there's one chick who does a really nice classical dubstep versions of violinist. What the hell is her name? I know the violinist who Lindsey Sterling. There we go. Someone just commented as it popped in my head too. Yep. Lindsey Striking. Close. Lindsey Stirring. Close. I'm doing well. Jada Goth Emo Demon Lardo. That is an interesting name. Do you listen to Logic? I think maybe I've heard something of theirs. I hear about them a lot, so I definitely need to look into them. But off the top of my head, no, I can't think of any of his or their music. I don't know if it's a... Oh, wait, Logic? Is that kid on that Facebook group that I see all the time? It might be. If it's that kid on the Facebook group that I'm always seeing, then yes, I've heard of Logic. Happy late Cinco de Mayo, your maker. Happy late Cinco de Mayo to everyone who celebrates. Can you tell us Black Eyed Kid's story? I don't have any right now. I think on my Fear Your Maker channel I have like one or two, but that's not one that I actually a lot of. That and aliens. I really want some alien stories. I have a couple, but they're not necessarily creepy, and they're kind of short, so I would have to find more to make a video out of it. Another story. Yeah, same one, always asking for stories. You're story hungry. I like it. What's going on right now? Is he telling stories? We're chatting right now. I played a story not too long ago, but I can play another one here in a minute. No big deal. And then this will probably end up being the last story that I do on stream, and then we'll probably end the stream. And then not long after, I will upload the video, which is about 40 minutes long. So you haven't heard, I think, half of it yet. So you'll still have plenty to go watch over there if you've caught all the stories here. Have I watched Dark Skies? No, but it sounds familiar. I have not. I don't know if it's a movie. I'm really bad with movies. If you've caught my previous streams or seen when I talk, I'm not much of a movie buff, you know. Alex wants to marry me. Aw, you're so sweet. Shifty. Favorite movie / TV show? Favorite movie would probably be Vile. And then TV show, I'm a big fan of Survivor. That's probably been one of my longest watching ones. Have you watched X-Men? The original. And that was right about the time I fell out of all the sci-fi movies. So I never watched any others after that. Never watched Fantastic Five, the Hulk, any Batmans, any Supermans. Yeah, kind of got out of all the sci-fi things. I don't watch many of them anymore. I'm not sure why. Take care, Michelle. Thank you for dropping in. I saw an ad and I clicked it. Thank you so much, Ellen. You are awesome. And you know how ads work too. Clicking them is the way you really get your support to someone. There's a channel I watch. You guys know I hate anime. Well, not like I hate it, but I'm not going to watch it or do anything with it. But there's one channel that I go on, and anytime I get an anime ad, I'll click on it for them. I'm like, I'll just leave this open while I watch your video. Just because I like to show some support. What's Arizona like at night? Is it cold? It really depends. Once it hits summer, no. It'll be 100 degrees at night. Like swimming weather. The visual you're looking at right now, that fire, it was probably like 100 degrees out that night. That fire was not for heat. That fire was strictly for this video. I was actually swimming out in that water at that time at like 2 in the morning. I would always go night swimming out there, and you'd have the bats flying around you and hear the coyotes and the wild burros in the distance, and you'd get to hear when the coyotes kill something. Creepy. But it'll stay really warm. It'll be 100 degrees at night, and then during the winters and whatnot, I mean, you're talking probably like 50s, 60s. A lot of people come from Canada, all over the U.S., everywhere north, everywhere it snows. They come down here during the winter because we really don't get snow, and we call them snowbirds. That's when the population here like doubles. Have you watched It's Always Sunny? I have seen one episode of that. I do know that. Hey, what up, fuckface? God, every time I say your name, I feel like I'm saying something wrong. That's a bad name. I mean, it's a great name, but it's a bad name if I'm trying to be family appropriate. Like, if my grandma were to hear that, she's going to be like, what the hell? My grandma, she'll call me occasionally. She'll be like, yeah, I hear you cursing. And it's like, nope. Johnny left and came back. Aw, you're so sweet. Yeah, just one episode. It was funny, but like I said, it's really hard for me to get into television. Like, my wife, she watches television shows, but I don't. I mean, I watch Survivor, and I think that's about it. I'm kind of falling out of Prison Break. I'm getting upset. I even told my wife I'm kind of wish they would have just left it how it was. And yeah, I'm really picky on a lot of that. I can't really think of much more. Do you see Wendigo in real life? I have not. No, I've never seen anything unexplained. Which is crazy because here in the desert, we're always getting UFO sightings. Like, I look for them. I've been out on the island one night. I remember me and a buddy after work, we grabbed a beer and we were out on the island close to where this video is taken, this fire, but more on the cliff by that lighthouse, actually, up on the edge. And we backed over there and sat on the tailgate of his truck and we're just having a beer chilling. And it was crazy. I actually saw this meteorite come down and it was so close. It was ridiculous close. Like, I could see every different color peeling off the whole trail. Like, I could see the different white and the blue, and you could actually see pieces flaking off and shimmering. And then it disappeared behind the hill right in front of us. And then a second later, you see this flash, and then it just disappears. Like, that was probably... I wish I would have had a phone or some way to record it. But I actually randomly ran into him after not talking to him for years. I ran into him, and we started talking about that night again, too. That was pretty crazy. Yeah, the chat is going a little bit quick. What? Zitty's all mad. I don't know who the fuck would support you as a patron because they're giving you money for cigarettes. Well, if you think about it, you're technically giving money for everyone for anything. If I went and bought my wife a sex toy at some point, what are you going to do? Say that's for that? So, I mean, you can get all crazy if you want. Get all crazy. Just reread 1999. Forgot how good of a creepypasta that was. I don't know if I've heard that one. I know the Russian sleep experiment's my favorite creepypasta. Skinwalker vs. Wendigo. Skinwalker. Definitely. Naomi says, gotta go, bye. Do you like... I don't know, it just jumped off. Nana, what up? I was gonna read it, but I forgot there's gonna be a computer reading it. Thank you so much, Nana. 0193. Katie asks if I can show my face.
Your videos make my days at work go by fast. Thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Your videos make my day at work go by fast. Thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I really appreciate you coming by and supporting the channel. And I'm glad I can help you get through your work day. I used to listen to a lot of stories to get through mine as well. I'm like a younger, angry grandpa. You know, I think I've seen a couple of the angry grandpas, but I haven't watched too much. It's a little theatrical. Do you believe in mythical creatures and aliens? I believe that there's definitely creatures we don't know about, and I also do believe that there's got to be aliens in some form. It'd be kind of ignorant of us to think we're the only ones in this entire universe. Now, whether that's just some sort of bacteria on another planet is yet to be determined, but I'm sure there's some sort of aliens. How weird would that be if the aliens that we contact come down in a tiny, tiny ship like the size of a quarter, and they're just to the point we can barely seem like the size of an ant, and they're highly intelligent and everything, and like they could wipe our planet out? That would be crazy. Well, let's go ahead and do a last story and wind this down. Katie asks if I could do a face reveal. I've done a few face reveals, actually. You can find some on my channel, and I think if you also Google your maker face reveal. Yep, we're going to go ahead and do a story, Diesel. And this will probably be our way of winding down. So let's go ahead and start a story. This happened a few years ago to me when I was still living in my childhood home down in California. I had just inherited my family home, so my cousin decided to move in with my husband and I while she was attending a college nearby. My cousin and I were both working at a Lego store at the time, but I only worked mornings and my husband and cousin worked nights, so there were many nights that I was alone. A couple of weeks before this happened, I had been taking stuff out of my car when I realized a strange brown van with no back windows parked across the street. As I put the stuff in the trunk, the man in the van started making weird noises at me. I turned to see if I could get a good look at his face, but his black Giants baseball cap was pulled down really far. Thinking he was just a creepy guy, I flipped him off and went back into the house. About 2 hours later, I went outside to go somewhere, and he was still parked across the street. Not thinking too much of it, I hopped into my car and headed to my friend's house. As I was driving, I looked in my rearview mirror and saw the same brown van following me. I turned on a whole bunch of streets, and he followed me down all of them. I turned onto the road that my father-in-law lived on and parked, thinking if the guy tried anything I could just run over there and be safe. When I pulled up and parked in front of my father-in-law's house, the van slowly drove by. I looked into the van, and the man put his hand in a gun position and pointed it at me, like with the index and middle finger out and thumb pointed up, and said bang, really loud. After that, he hauled ass and drove off. I had always been a little leery staying at home alone. My house had always given me the creeps because of how poorly lit it was. When I was alone at night, I usually just stayed in the kitchen because of how bright it was. I was watching a TV show on my computer when all of a sudden I hear a banging on the front door and the handle jiggling. It startled me for a moment, until I looked at the time and saw that it was around 10 p.m. and knew my cousin was going to be coming home from work about that time. I got up and opened the door, but nobody was on the porch. I shouted my cousin's name out, but there was no response. I called my cousin's cell, and immediately she said, "Oh hey, I'm on my way home from work right now." Before I could say anything else, there was 3 extremely loud bangs on the door that connected the kitchen to the garage, and the knob was shaking violently. I slammed the front door closed, locked and chained it, and ran to my room. My aunt called me while my cousin called the police, and I stayed under a blanket until my cousin arrived. When she came and got me, I was led outside to talk to the police. I was trying to explain what happened, but the officers along the side of the house were distracting me. I walked over to where they were, but one of the police officers held me back. They opened the gate and saw that the door to my garage, which we always leave locked, was wide open. All of the police in the area pulled out their guns and went into the garage, but nobody was in there. Afterwards, the police told me it was probably just some kids messing around, but if I ever get scared at home to just call them and they'll send someone out. About a week later, I was watching something in my living room with my cousin and my husband. As I was passing by the window next to my front door, I realized there was a guy wearing the same baseball cap as the guy in the van, standing outside on the sidewalk, staring at the house. When he noticed me watching, he immediately locked eyes with me and slowly gave me the creepiest smile I have ever seen. I turned and yelled for my husband to go out there, but when I turned back around, he was gone. I will say that the baseball cap in question is really, really generic, and a lot of Giants fans wear it, so I can't say it was the same exact guy, but it felt like it was. 3 days after that, I was home alone at night again. I was on edge, but I was trying to ignore it, telling myself I was going to be okay. I was baking cookies in the kitchen when I thought I heard a knock at my sliding glass door. My whole body tensed up and I slowly turned towards the door. The lights in the backyard were off and the kitchen ones were on, so the glare on the window made it impossible for me to see if someone was outside. Everything was silent for a few seconds before someone banged on the door again. I screamed, but felt paralyzed in fear. The person ran on the deck from the sliding glass door to the 2 windows in the living room and started knocking on them as well. They came back to the sliding glass door to knock and started trying to open the door. I finally came to my senses, grabbed my keys and ran into my car, locked myself in and dialed 911. We sold our house shortly after that, and I still have a hard time staying home alone, even though I'm 2 states away. Well, that puts us about halfway through today's video. So for those of you that are going to catch the rest of it once it's uploaded, you're about halfway through, about 20 minutes. So there's still plenty of new content for those of you that caught all of these. Unless you're a Patreon supporter and then you got the video yesterday, so you already watched it. Mods ban who?
Last donation before my husband divorces me. Keep up the awesome work. Much love from Waco TX. Your voice got my 2-month-old to fall asleep. Thank you for the break.
Wow, you guys are amazing. Regina, last donation before my husband divorces me. Don't be putting yourself in a situation like that. Holy crap. Thank you so much. It really means a lot. Hello from LHC to Waco, Texas. And Mika, thank you again. I see you as well. Your voice got my 2-month-old to fall asleep. That's awesome. I know that's no easy task either. I'm glad I could help. Thank you both so much. That's really awesome. And then Ramon Lopez as well.
My wife Erica made me pay this, and also we love your videos. Keep up the good work. The videos help my wife sleep at night.
Thank you guys so much, Ramon and Erica. I'm glad I can help you guys wind down and catch some sleep. Thank you so much for making it to the stream and supporting the channel. It really means a lot. That is super awesome. You guys are amazing. That's really cool. I can't thank you guys enough. Someone asked, do I listen to Muji music? I do. Yeah, I subscribe to him and I check out his videos when they came out. Proxy, I wish I could donate. And don't worry about it. Seriously, like, anyone donating, it really helps. But this is more just for hanging out, chilling. This is something I wanted to kind of do when I first started. Kind of more like a book club-ish kind of thing where you listen to the stories and then chat about them after. I always thought that would be a cool thing that no one really does, you know, and then the people that are just looking for the stories, then they can just wait for the stories to be uploaded with no commentary. But it's a nice way to actually get to know the community, be able to discuss the stories, and it's always fun to just talk to everyone. It's really awesome that I can help a lot of people get through their work days, fall asleep. I know there's a lot of people that have issues falling asleep, and it really helps them, and that's really cool. Just joined, Jack? Oh, we're winding down now, but at least you made it to say what's up and get a shout out. You should use Muji music. I really should. The hard thing is a lot of the stories I try to get are longer, and a lot of the pieces are like 4 minutes. So I really should. I need to find a way that I could actually edit them properly to hit the proper points in the stories. That's something I still have an issue with, is like finding the perfect point to actually merge one fade out to another fade in without taking away from the story. Frank says love from London. Awesome, thank you. What up, London? Love from Arizona. Daryl Ramirez, how do I donate? You can go to Patreon or Super Chat below, but I'm ending the stream. It's really no big deal. Just being here saying hi is really amazing. I'm about to end the stream. I'd feel really bad if you donated and then I ended the stream. Zaharnks, Dubai. What up, Dubai? Love from Michigan. What up, Michigan, Australia? Yep, I listen to your stories on my 40 to 45 minute ride to work. Damn. That's a long commute. I'm glad I can help pass that time a little bit. Your maker, do you know COAG? They've had several long music. I don't know them, actually. I do not. I don't know them. Someone's like, don't end the stream. Well, what I was thinking about doing is actually probably taking my stream to Twitch and doing some video games. That's kind of what I was thinking. Probably take a break, eat my Subway sandwich, and then play some Rainbow Six on Twitch or something. Love from Phoenix. Awesome. You're not very far at all. A few hours away. Tucson. Damn, Arizona's in here representing. Wagwan. Is that a place? What up, Wagwan, if that's a place? No, Twitch is bad. That's what someone said. I have my Twitch set up. It's just My Twitch is real low key. Like I don't have any. There's no donations, nothing. It's strictly come chill, watch me play video games. Those streams are so sporadic, anyways. Like sometimes they only last for 20 minutes, sometimes a couple hours. Sometimes I'll end a stream and then get back on 30 minutes later. It's 3:30 in the damn morning. Holy moly! It's 10:23 a.m. here. And it's windy, so I still can't ride my skateboard, and it's cold. Love from the Philippines, and Serbia, California, Greece. Damn, we're all over the world. Sweden, Sheffield, UK. How do you choose submitted stories? Because I submitted and never heard back. That's a good question. I go through and I try to make sure the story makes sense and it's written well. Because the issue with trying to edit a lot of stories is I feel bad if I'm changing someone's things, like trying to edit it. And then like if it's a block of text, that's extremely overwhelming because then I have to go through and get the punctuation, because I always try to make sure it's punctuated properly. It makes it easier to actually narrate because then I know where I take my breaths, where I can pause. But essentially, do the best you can. If you want to hear back, make sure that you put that in the email, because I really don't have the time to respond personally back to everyone. But if someone says that they want to be notified that their story's been narrated, or if they ask for a reply, I do my best to reply, and I think I always have notified everyone that their story's been up. Someone just said, can I send it to you? I didn't see the first part of that. If it's a story, yes, absolutely. Send it to yourmaker6260@gmail.com, please. I feel so late because I was doing a project and joined like 10 minutes ago. Oh, that's okay, Maria. At least you made it in to say hi and get a shout out. It's better than not catching it at all. And the stories you missed are going to be in the next video. What up, Israel? I see you. You got Israel, and there was another Northern England. And Aiden's back. It's a spotlight one. I will use grammar and punctuation in mine so it's easier to read. Absolutely, yes. And they, I don't know, this isn't a paid advert or anything for them, but a program that I like to use, it's a free add-on for Google. It's Grammarly. You might have seen some of the ads on my videos. I see that they'll actually post them on there. And it's actually a program that I've recommended to our other narrators. But even the free version, it'll actually bring up recommended where you've messed up your punctuation and whatnot. And it actually works for like Twitter, Facebook. So when you're about to make a post and sound stupid, you'll actually see that too. So if you're not the best with grammar or punctuation, make sure you get that. It helps out. It'll tell you should have a comma here or a space here, or this word's redundant, or you're confusing there or they are, you know. Definitely something to check out. My boyfriend's in England. I'm stuck in boondocks 5,000 miles away from him. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that, Aaron. That is a long distance relationship. Hopefully it's just a trip and you guys will be reunited soon. I was going to say shortly, but then I said soon. That's why it sounded like shoon. Check out the app Dark Reader. I'm not too big on, if it's a phone app, then I'm probably not going to check it out, honestly. I don't download apps. I don't trust them at all. I just really actually don't use them, so. Yo, bro, I love your channel. Always creeps me out. And then your content is great. Thank you, Anano Moose. I really appreciate that. Crystal, I've been here since the beginning. Well, I'm glad you got to hang out the whole time. And you're going to be here for the end, too, because we're winding this down. It's a desktop app. Huh. Maybe comment in my next video. Let me know what it is, because I'm not really sure what it is. You look like a crack whore anyways. Aw. You did spell like wrong. Luik, a crack whore. At least I look one and don't sound like one. Whoa! Oh, people are so funny. They try to throw insults, but they can't spell properly. And it's like, dude, look in the mirror. What do I use to edit? Audacity is what I use to edit my audio. Or Audacity, however it's supposed to be pronounced. Cheryl, the Red Fox, you just joined and we're just ending. I'm sorry, but at least you got to come in and say hi. Thank you, the Wolverine. He says, you help me sleep at night. Or she says, nice voice, nice story, and nice channel. Thank you so much. Do I have any paranormal experiences? No, not really. Not really. I don't really have any scary stories or paranormal. What kind of microphone do you use? I have an MXL 990, and then that's plugged into my Focusrite Scarlett freaking USB interface. Jag TV. I don't know how to spell. Apparently. That's funny. What computer do you use? I have an Asus some gaming laptop. Before I went full time, because like when I first started, I was using half a laptop. The screen had broke, so I ripped the screen off, so that way it automatically pumped out the visual through the RGB, and then I plugged that into my TV, and then that computer took a crap. And this was when I first started my channel. And then I had another computer with literally 1 megabyte of RAM, and it was running like 95 or XP, and I was using that computer for a while. And then once, right about the point I was going to go full time, I wanted to make sure that I at least had a computer before I took that leap. So I got an Asus gaming laptop, and it's got a GeForce GTX 960M, the i7, it's like 16 gigs RAM, 2 gigs in the video graphics. I mean, it does everything I need. Gets me my conversion rate down. It used to be when I tried to convert a video, it would take about 4 times as long. So if I had a 20-minute video, it's taken almost 2 hours to output. Now it seems to be at about a 1 ratio depending on what I do. If I leave the fire as the background and it's a 20-minute video, it takes about 20 minutes to export it in 720 at 24 frames per second. So alright guys, well I think we're going to go ahead and end the stream. I really appreciate everyone joining in, and hope you enjoyed getting to chat about the stories, get to learn a little more about me. Didn't expect giving that private story that I gave. And make sure you keep an eye out for the next video, because even though you've listened to some of the stories here, you've only listened to about half of the video. It's a nice long video today, so I hope everyone has a great day and a great weekend if it's the weekend for you. If not, a happy Monday. Mondays suck as it is. And I will catch you guys later. And thank you so much. Everyone who sent super chats, you all are awesome. I'm going to go through and start giving out special credits, and not this video coming up, but the one after. I'll go ahead and make sure you guys are getting a special thank you for all your support as well. Take care, everybody. And if you're not following me on Twitch and you want to maybe see me stream video games here in a little bit, go to my About tab on my page. You can find my Twitch link. It's YourMaker69 on Twitch. If not, no big deal. I'll catch you guys on another stream. Take care, everybody, and goodbye.